7'4", 305 pounds, Zach Edey is an immovable force. His regular season dominance helping earn the junior big man at Purdue Big Ten Player of the Year honors and favored status for National Player of the Year. Growing up in Toronto, Canada, you betcha, one of his first athletic passions was hockey.
I started playing from a young age. Well, I thought I was young. I started skating at when I was 6 years old.
He's been really tall. He was a big baby, quite frankly. And so he's always been a big kid and used to being taller than everybody else. He'd always really resisted basketball. It was just kind of, I think, a little predictable for him. For years, Zach would have umpires and coaches tell him, you should play basketball, because it was such a novel idea, a tall guy, playing basketball. So sometimes it was frustrating to him because he would say, I play hockey, I play baseball.
I really didn't like people telling me what I should do, what sports I should play. So I think I almost took the opposite route. You want me to do this, so I'm just not gonna do it. I'm not even gonna touch a basketball.
11 years old or so, he started getting very serious about baseball. He could occasionally throw an 80-mile fastball. He, at one point, said, I want to be the tallest MLB pitcher out there. And I was thinking, yeah, you could probably do that.
Unfortunately, I almost outgrew the sport a little bit. I had some shoulder problems. In the winter, I was going to play some basketball to kind of keep cross-training, keep it active. I started playing halfway through my 10th grade year. And then the next year, I was at IMG and really trying to pursue basketball.
Injury and circumstance put baseball out of reach, a 7-foot Edey changed his outlook, giving basketball a shot midway through his sophomore year of high school.
And when I first started playing in 10th grade, I remember I went to a practice. Looking back on it, it wasn't a fun practice to be at. Everyone was doing skills work. I was just working on trying to go my right foot, left foot into a right foot, right hand layup, just the super fundamentals. But I think it was just kind of that challenge of learning something new.
With his competitive fire lit, Edey turned to the IMG Academy in Florida, where he'd get 2 years of intensive basketball training while finishing high school. He'd graduate with a scholarship to play D1 ball for the Purdue Boilermakers.
Well, we thought he'd be good. We just didn't know when he was going to be good.
And we're pleased to announce this year's Men's Wooden Award winner, Zach Edey of Purdue. Edey averaged over 22 points a game to go along with 13 rebounds and 2 blocks for the Boilermakers, who won both the Big Ten regular season and the conference tournament titles. The John R. Wooden Men's Player of the Year Award, presented by Wendy's, is given by the Los Angeles Athletic Club.
He looked really good in workouts, and then the game started, and it wasn't that he was bad. It was kind of like he was non-existent.
He's just really tall. He can't play. Anybody with that kind of wingspan ought to be able to be productive. Well, it's ill-informed takes like that put a chip atop the 7'4" Zach Edey shoulder, about 7 feet off the ground.
I just think watching tape and doing a lot of drill work with our coaches, he really worked hard on those things, and in a quick study, he got better.
2 more for Zach Edey.
Sometimes you get guys of size and they're good players, but
Big fella going to work today.
Their only strength is their size.
He's the most unique player in college basketball.
He's learned to pass the basketball.
Outstanding ball movement.
He's learned to play without fouling. He's improved in ball screen defense. He's one of the best rebounders in the country. He's one of the best scorers in the country.
There are 26 official NCAA basketball stat categories. Purdue center Zach Edey is ranked in the top 20 of nearly half of them.
That leaves Edey alone against Barnheiser. So well in a more offensive-oriented group. Such a good player. And what a feed! Finding the
drop step. D9.
Pepper defeated. Crowell. Hometown. Look at this alley-oop.
Oh, it's Edey upstairs.
Big Ten player in the last 25 years to average 20 points on 60% shooting, and he's done it a couple of times. And this Purdue team is the only team
that's been ranked in the top 5 all season. He made a quantum leap from his sophomore to junior year last year when he was National Player of the Year. He's even better this year. He's more poised in the post.
Edey gives the Boilermakers coaching staff proper credit for their role in his rapid development.
You decided to come back for another run, one last victory lap, I guess, in a way, in West Lafayette. What's been the most fun part of this season to date, Zach?
Just playing with my team. I know it's kind of like the boring answer, but I have so much fun with the guys on my team. Especially this year, I've really made it a priority myself just to have fun. Making sure I'm enjoying this, because this is my last ride. I think that's kind of been the big thing for me. I mean, that definitely was a thing that a lot of teams have told me, like work on my quickness, work on my foot speed, work on guarding in space. At the end of the day, the one thing I was really focused on was helping Purdue win. And if there's critiques that lined up for the NBA and college, I was obviously going to really, really work hard on those.
Is Purdue trending towards a 1 seed in large part because Zach Edey's in the middle? He's got 10 consecutive games with 15 points and 10 boards. That's the longest streak by a Big Ten player in the last quarter century. The longest by any player since Notre Dame's Luke Herringody in 2008-2009. Edey collected a whole bunch of hardware last year, including the Wooden Award, joining Glenn Robinson as the only Boilermaker player to win it. If Edey wins it again, he'll join Ralph Sampson, the Virginia legend, as the only players to win it twice. And he cracked the 2,000-point mark earlier this season to become the 5th player in Big Ten history with 2,000 points and 1,000 boards, joining Grace Jackson Davis, Ethan Happ, Herb Williams, and fellow Boiler Joe Barry Carroll. And the tournament's way down the road. And I'm trying to figure out how to ask you about this, because we know that the last few haven't ended the way you wanted. But you know what I started looking at was Virginia and the path they had the year after they lost to a 16. They went 29-3. And then they won a title. And I'm looking at your guys' season, and it feels like it could be very similar to that. You're trending to be a 1. You could have a very similar record. But ultimately, you guys want to finish it the way you want to finish it. Has there been a message from Coach Painter or conversations among your group about when you get there, sort of getting rid of the past and just focusing on the chance to do something truly memorable?
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, we've talked about it. Obviously, we talked about kind of how last year went. We have the same group of guys back. Right. But I feel like it's a completely different team. I feel like we have Lance Jones in here now. He gives us kind of a different look. And then we also just have guys that got older. We had a fully freshman backcourt last year. They know the game more. They've already been through a full season of college basketball. I think even though we have the same roster, it's a completely different team. Purdue's given me so much. The coaching staff, the university, my teammates, they really just gave me a chance. They came in and they believed in me and they really worked with me and they stuck with me. So I owe this university so much. Playing in the last game in MAC, it'll be a lot of emotions for me.